Hey folks, welcome to the channel. It's all about racing. Today we're going to take a look at two cars, both Brumos Livery cars, and we'll talk a little bit about the livery as well. The first one being a 1/64 scale Spark model, this one that competed in the 24 Hours of Le Mans. The other one being a 1/43 scale IXO model that competed in the 24 Hours of Daytona. Now, the Brumos livery was a tribute to the Brumos team, of which competed in the American Le Mans Series and IMSA for a number of years. And in the 24 Hours of Daytona, and we'll focus on this car first, this was their 50th anniversary, so it was the idea of Porsche to honor their customer team, the Brumos team, with this special livery. Now, what Brumos did is they had red and blue stripes that ran down their Porsches, just like you see here, only they were solid red and blue. What Porsche decided to do that was kind of special with this, and if you look at this 1/43 scale really closely, you can see, is have the stripes composed of the number 59. 59 being the Brumos number. If you take a look, you can see 59, 59, 59. That has that intricate pattern, which is just really, really cool. This was an in-house Porsche design. Now, it's a little harder to see on the 1/64 scale car due to the size. And I got to be honest with you, I didn't really even know what it was when I had this 1/64 scale car until I got the 1/43 and I could see it much clearly. I mean, even looking with the magnifying glass, it's really hard to see in the smaller scale, but it was really unique. Brumos had won 15 IMSA championships. They were a founding stakeholder in IMSA at the beginning in 1971. And I think they had over 48 IMSA victories, 4 24 Hours of Daytona victories, the last in 2009. So this livery was designed basically to honor their customer team, that of Brumos. And it's become one of the more popular designs on the Porsche that we had back in 2019. Now, if you take a look at these cars and you're wondering, okay, they've got the same livery, but one is the number 911, the other one's 93. What gives here? Well, the 911, since we'll go to that one first, that is the 911 car with the red banner on it that competes in the IMSA series. That being a professional entry, it has a red backing in on the number, as well as red mirrors, the red stripes that you see on the banner, as well as the end plates on the rear wing. Now, the 911 car, in order to differentiate from the 912, there are very subtle differences. I do not have the 912 car, but I will be getting it soon. I'm on order, and I will have it. Instead of the white banner, it has a black banner. Instead of the right rear wing, it's got a black rear wing. And if you notice, on the very bottom of the 911 car, here you can see on the running boards, you see that blue stripe. It's blue on the 911 car. It is red on the 912 car. And as soon as I get that, I'll actually show you and I'll have a comparison of it. Now, if you take a look at the number 93 car, this was the entry. Now, the 24 Hours of Daytona takes place in January of 2019. In June of 2019, that is when Le Mans takes place. And they switched from the 911 number to the 93 number because of the way that things work. But as you can see, the banner on this car is white. The rear wing is white, just like it is on the 911 car. Everything else is identical. The mirrors are white as opposed to red because it's not required in the 24 Hours of Le Mans to have that that red accent on there in order to identify the cars. And as you know, this is the 93 car, and it has the green background on the number because that is how you differentiate the pro cars in the 24 Hours of Le Mans, for example, from the 24 Hours of Daytona with the red 911 number on it. So, folks, I guess to put it short and simple, these two cars are identical. In fact, what they do is once they've finished racing the 3 or 4 races that they have in the U.S. before they go to Europe for the 24 Hours of Le Mans, they ship this across series, and all they do is swap out the numbers on the car. It is the exact same car. Now, that being said, it's kind of a unique livery. It's a very unique looking car. I love the Porsche. I really like the livery. I think it's gorgeous. It's an interesting tribute to a team that most people probably don't know a whole lot about, and I'll move these two cars up together. There we go. You can get a look at both of them. And as you can see, from virtually every aspect, it is the same car, just, a different number on it, in this case, a different scale size. The reason for example, I do not have the Spark model of the 143 scale. It's because it's almost twice as expensive as this IXO model is, and the IXO model is a really, really good model. They're both really nice looking cars. Both represent the brand and the livery, I think, very, very well, whether it's done by Sparky or by IXO in this case. But the one thing that I do like about the 143 scale car, again, and if you watch my videos, I'll repeat it, it's details, details, details. Everything is just more apparent. Everything is more visible. Like, for example, the number 59 on here, you can really make out without a magnifying glass on the 143 scale car. Trying to do that on the 164 scale car is considerably more difficult. And of course, details are kind of sparse on 164. In this particular Spark model, you can see the steering wheel in there, which is kind of nice. And the front headlights are, well, they're basically just plastic, made to look like headlights, but there's really no detail at all. The grille is somewhat lifeless on the front of the car. On the 143 scale car, it just pops. Now, even though this is an IXO and the grille is plastic and it's not inlaid, it's still very nicely done with decals adorning it. The headlights actually look like Porsche headlights, as they should. This is a Porsche RSR car, so it is their top of the line Porsche 911 that they race. And the details, on this IXO car abound. The cockpit details are much better looking in this car than it is on the 164 scale car. And if you turn around and take it around, take a look at the passenger side. Again, much of the same. You see the tow hook, for example, really on the nose of the Porsche. You don't have that on the 164 scale car. Wheel details are really, really nice. They're very good, even for IXO. The grill work is good. If this were a Spark model, it'd be even better. But, it is what it is. Very nicely done. Very nice representation, I think. Antennas abound on it. Now, one thing I have learned about the Spark models, particularly in the 164 scale, is they are very, very sensitive. I am careful when touching these things. I have broken more wings off the backs of these Porsches, kind of playing around with them like a kid, which I shouldn't be doing. And they're almost impossible to glue back on. I did glue this one back on. I broke it. I broke another 911, and I just threw it away because I couldn't put the wing back on it. Now, I don't even touch the 143 scale cars like you see here. I don't roll them around. They sit in the display case in their jewel box, which is very, very nice. But the details on this are absolutely gorgeous. I love this livery. Notice the blue accents on the rear diffuser. Very, very, very cool. The rear wing looks good. You take a look underneath it. You can see the Porsche there. This is a really nice car, this IXO. The exhaust, look at the details of the exhaust. You can see the rear tail hook. They did a really nice job, IXO did. Almost as good as Spark, almost as good. Maybe one of these days I'll get a Spark car and I'll compare the two of them. I know other people online and on YouTube have compared IXO models to Spark for 4 or 5 years now, and they usually all say, the IXO model is cheaper, and if you can live with more plastic parts that maybe don't have carbon fiber trim like you get on the Spark, the IXO is a better buy. I would happen to agree with all of those because I have a lot of IXO models and a number of Spark models as well. I was trying to look under the rear wing of this. There we go. And there you can see the Porsche, very nicely done on the 164 scale car. Details on this car are really good. They're very similar to that of the counterpart. And Sparky does a good job with these cars to scale. Now, one thing I just hate about Sparky cars, and I really do hate it, and it's a real pet peeve of mine, is the fact that the rear tail lights are basically just painted. There's no plastic inserts in there. Heck, even Mini GT gets that detail right. Sparky doesn't for whatever reason. Of course, on a 143 scale car, that would be absolutely unforgivable. And I only have one 143 scale car that doesn't have plastic inserts on taillights, and that happens to be a Spark model, of all things. Go figure. But anyhow, very nice representation, I think, of both cars. The livery is the same. So if you guys see these online, you're thinking about buying one, and you're figuring out, okay, why is one the 93 car and one the 911? They have the same livery. It's because they entered the same livery in both races. The 911 competed in the 24 Hours of Daytona, and the 93 of the 24 Hours of Le Mans. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.